The feeling exactly. It is quite possibly the most humiliating sensation a human being can experience. You are in the middle of a heated argument. Someone has disrespected you, crossed a sacred boundary, or been unfair to you in a way that makes your blood boil. A fire starts burning in the center of your chest. Your heart rate spikes. Your hands start to shake not from fear, but from pure, accumulated adrenaline. You know exactly what you want to say. You have the perfect argument, the flawless defense, the exact words loaded on the tip of your tongue to destroy your opponent's logic. But then, it happens. That painful, uncontrollable lump rises in your throat. Your voice cracks. Your vision blurs. And against all your willpower, against your desperate desire to appear strong and unyielding, the tears start to fall. In that exact second, you see the look in the other person's eyes shift. Their expression changes from defensiveness to pity, or worse, to condescension. They stop seeing you as a threat and start seeing you as a victim. They think you are sad. They say, "Calm down," or ask, "Why are you crying?" as if you were a wounded child. They think they've won the argument, and that only makes you angrier. Because you aren't sad, you aren't hurt, you are furious. Society has told you your whole life that this is a character flaw. They've told you that you are too emotional, that you need to suck it up, that you don't have the stability to handle confrontation. You have probably spent years apologizing for these tears, feeling like your own body betrays you in the moments when you need strength the most. But I am here today to tell you that the diagnosis you've been given is completely wrong. There is nothing wrong with you. In fact, neuroscience suggests that this phenomenon is not a sign of weakness, but the exact opposite. I'm going to show you all of this starting now. But before we dive in, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. Think of your body as a high-voltage electrical system. While most people operate with a standard charge, capable of processing frustrations without major energy spikes, your system processes injustice and anger with overwhelming intensity. Your angry tears are not a leak caused by structural failure. They are a sophisticated safety valve. Your brain isn't crying because you are fragile. It is crying because your body is generating such a massive amount of aggressive energy that, if it weren't physically released through tears, it could result in an actual physical explosion. Your crying is the emergency brake that evolution installed to stop you from doing something you couldn't take back. You are not weak. You are a pressure cooker with above-average capacity trying to contain a nuclear force inside a human body. Today, we are going to pop the hood of your mind and look at your hardware. We are going to understand the neuroscience behind the angry cry and prove, biologically, that your tears are proof that you care deeply, not that you've given up. We are going to discover why this happens to the most loyal and passionate people, and why, paradoxically, these tears make you someone no one should want to mess with. Welcome to the psychology of the angry crier. To understand why this happens, we need to look at the battlefield taking place inside your brain during a confrontation. Most people believe that anger and sadness are opposite emotions, sitting at different ends of the emotional spectrum. But for your brain, the line between them is much thinner than it seems. Imagine you are at work. You've spent weeks dedicating yourself to a project, pulling all-nighters, pouring your soul into it. And then, in a meeting, a coworker who barely participated takes all the credit for your effort. Or worse, your boss unfairly criticizes an insignificant detail, ignoring the entire big picture of your sacrifice. In that moment, your primitive brain, the amygdala, hijacks control. It doesn't analyze nuances. It perceives a threat. Not a physical threat like a tiger, but a social and moral threat to your integrity. Your body floods your veins with cortisol and adrenaline. Your muscles tense up, ready to fight. It is the classic fight or flight response. But here's the problem: you can't fight. You can't scream, punch the table, or physically attack the source of the injustice. Social norms, your job, your upbringing, all of this forms a cage around that primitive instinct. That is where the short circuit happens. You have the gas pedal floored pure anger demanding action, and the handbrake pulled with maximum force social repression demanding composure. When two opposing forces collide with this magnitude inside a confined space, something has to give. The energy needs to go somewhere. And in your case, it spills out through your eyes. Angry tears contain, chemically, higher levels of manganese and stress hormones than normal lubrication tears. Your body is literally trying to expel excess chemical stress to restore balance before the system collapses. It is a biological purge. Think about that time you tried to explain something important to someone you love, maybe a partner or a relative, and they simply refused to listen. They twisted your words. The frustration mounted in you like a tidal wave. You wanted to scream so they would understand, so they would see your truth. But the powerlessness of not being heard, combined with the fury of injustice, activated the tears. You felt pathetic in that moment, didn't you? You thought, why am I crying? I should be yelling. But here's the mental shift you need to understand. This reaction is a sign of high involvement. People who don't care don't cry out of anger. Indifferent, cynical, or emotionally disconnected people simply shrug their shoulders and walk away. The fact that you cry out of anger means you have a deeply rooted sense of justice. It means that the truth is visceral to you. You can't just let it go because your brain processes injustice as actual physical pain. There is a term for this in psychology that approaches the concept of emotional flooding. Your cup isn't smaller than everyone else's. It's just that you are living under a waterfall. You pick up on more. You care more. And when reality betrays your values, the dissonance is so painful that your body reacts with the only rapid relief tool it has. The cruel irony is that the world interprets this sign of intense integrity as fragility. They see water leaking and assume the structure is cracked. But they don't see the internal pressure that structure is withstanding without breaking. If you were truly weak, you would have given up on the confrontation long before the tears arrived. You would have agreed, put your head down, and accepted the injustice silently. But you didn't do that. You stayed. You kept trying to communicate, trying to resolve it, trying to fight through the tears with your voice cracking and your chest aching. Have you ever been in the middle of a heated argument, filled with righteous anger, only to feel that dreaded lump in your throat and your eyes start to well up? Suddenly, your powerful points are lost, drowned out by tears, and someone dismisses you with, "Oh, you're just being too emotional." It's incredibly frustrating, right? You feel like your own body has betrayed you. But what if I told you that what you're experiencing isn't a weakness? It's not a malfunction. It's actually a sign of something incredibly powerful happening inside you. Let's talk about the angry cry. When you cry out of anger, it's often because your emotional system is running at maximum capacity. You care so deeply, your sense of justice is so strong that your body goes into overload. Think about it. That isn't weakness. That is resilience in its rawest form. It is trying to fly a plane through a turbulent storm while the control panel is on fire. You're not breaking down. You're managing an immense amount of emotional energy. And there's another aspect few people discuss: the evolutionary function of disarmament. Subconsciously, That angry cry might be your body's desperate attempt to de-escalate a conflict it perceives as dangerous. It's your system screaming, "The tension here is at critical levels. We need to bring this down now." It's a biological safety valve, not a flaw. But I know, knowing the science doesn't make the moment any less frustrating. The pain of not being able to get your words out because your throat has closed up is real. The anguish of having your valid arguments discarded just because you're showing emotion is real. So, what do? How do we operate this high-performance machine without it overheating in the middle of a crucial conversation? The answer isn't to try to rip out the wiring and become some unfeeling robot. The answer lies in changing how you manage that overload before it hits its peak. And the very first thing you need to do is stop apologizing for your biology. The next time that knot forms in your throat and your eyes fill with tears during a confrontation, do not try to hide it. Don't lower your head in shame. And above all, please do not say, "Sorry, I'm being silly." Instead, verbalize what's happening. Take a deep breath, look the other person in the eye, and say something like this: "I am crying because I am furious, and my body is processing this anger. Do not mistake my tears for weakness, and do not think for a second that I am done talking." By naming the emotion, you seize control of the narrative. You take the weapon right out of your opponent's hand, the one they were about to use to dismiss you, and you show them that your structure is still standing strong. You're just venting a little excess pressure. But there's an even bigger lesson here, a much deeper truth about the world we live in. We are suffering from an epidemic of apathy. Having a thick skin has become the gold standard. We're taught not to care, not to feel, to be cold, calculating, and distant. In this landscape of collective numbness, having a system that reacts viscerally to injustice is not a flaw. It's an act of rebellion. Your angry tears are proof that you haven't been anesthetized yet. They are evidence that your moral values aren't just abstract ideas in your head, but physical convictions rooted deep in your being. You're the kind of person who, when you see something wrong, you feel it in your gut. And this world desperately needs more people who feel, not fewer. So here's my prescription for you. Stop trying to fix a system that isn't broken. Stop trying to be a concrete wall that nothing can penetrate. Because concrete walls don't feel joy, they don't feel passion, and they certainly don't change the world. You are a high-voltage conductor. Yes, the risk of a short circuit is higher. Yes, you need to take better care of your insulation and manage your energy more than other people. You probably need to withdraw and recharge more frequently. But the light you generate when you are operating at your full potential, it is infinitely brighter than the gray, stable hum of indifference. Accept your tears as the price you pay for living life in high resolution. Your intensity is your superpower, and crying is just the tax you pay for it. If you recognize yourself in this, if you've ever felt that deep frustration of being misunderstood because of the intensity of your emotions, then welcome. You have found your tribe. This channel is dedicated to those of us who see and feel the world in 8K. I'd love to hear your story. Take a moment and leave a comment with your thoughts or experiences. Sharing helps us all realize we're not alone and builds a community where we can support each other. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.